same amount, whether it's resolved in help desk or whether it's referred. But you're right, there's a bit of a catch there, and that is that, and you'll see this later, one of the service level agreements is first contact resolution, one of our many. So at a global level, yeah, you could say, well, if we enforce the contract, no, they don't. But the reality is they really get paid the same. So they're not incented per ticket to actually resolve that ticket. In aggregate, yeah. I think there's a third. They say busted or true, busted, or plausible. So that, I guess we could go plausible on that. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about knowledge, and I know this is important to the LSPs as well because you have the same challenges and opportunities as the help desk. You need the knowledge to be able to support the people. There are 3 ways we get knowledge to the help desk. One is the knowledge base. And these aren't scripts. Sometimes people use help desk scripts. This is really knowledge. And sometimes there's walking user through 1, 2, 3, 4. But sometimes it's just, here's information. This net badge reminder is going out. Here's information about it. And here's where to send questions. It's populated by the folks that own the services. So the help desk manages the tool. The content comes from the service owners. So enterprise infrastructure, integrated systems, SIS, they own the content, which is kind of nice because it creates a nice relationship. Because if they do get a bunch of referrals that they don't think they need to get, then they can say, hey, we don't think we should get these, and we'll say, okay, give us the documentation and we'll make that happen. So we have a little leverage there, which is nice. We also have information on ITS Web, which you obviously know about. And we often connect our knowledge base out to ITS Web because that's where a lot of the most current information is. And so we only have to update it in one place. So in this sense here, you're seeing the same stuff we are. Training, we do training on a bi-weekly basis, and it's different subject matter. It depends what it is. Things that bubble to the top where we're having issues. We think we need training on a specific topic. Something's rolling out, recon. We'll do a training session on that. We're going to do one on E#, for example, in February. And then sometimes we just say, you know what, it's time to talk about simple lists again. When we have a round table, we invite the subject matter experts to come talk about that. We could do one about LSPs, actually. If anybody is up for that. Or even departmental computing support in general. Yeah, question?
Is that training something that we could get access to? Do they record them? Or, like if you're saying they bring people in, I assume that someone here is video conferencing in to...
We do record them, and the reason we record them is that not all the agents can attend, right? Because somebody's going to answer the phone. We can talk about that. It's going to be geared towards the agents. What we might think about doing is piggybacking on it. It's really the help desk's training session. But what might be useful is if we have a subject, just like we did for the exchange tools, where you invited me to come and listen. We could say, hey, we're going to do one on this topic. Might be worth piggybacking on that for the LSPs. Yeah.
Well, and I think, to Adam's point, he's saying if you record it, if you're video conferencing it anyway, is there any way you can record it so it's just a resource that's available, knowing that it's not targeted to them, and maybe it's not appropriate because of contracts and all that good stuff, but.
No, I don't know about contracts, but yeah, I think my concern more is actually the appropriateness of the audience, and sometimes they're just round table. But I don't know. We can talk about it. I have to think through that. Okay, let's talk about the agents, how that's structured. We really have 2 sets of agents. We have dedicated, what we call dedicated agents, and we have shared agents. Dedicated agents are trained on UVa. They work exclusively on UVA Helpdesk. And I'll introduce them to you here soon. So when you call the help desk, you're likely to get the same people when you call. So I'll give you their names, and so you'll know who you're talking to. We have coverage for dedicated agents 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. So we have at least one dedicated agent at any given time. And what's nice about that is if we have some of our shared agents who we share with other universities, if we have a dedicated agent, there can be an interaction there if the shared agent picks up the phone, has a question about UVA, it's UVA specific. They can ask the UVA agents. Shared agents usually cover our nightly times. So I don't know, there are faculty who call in the middle of the night, but it's mostly students. And really not any staff calls on nights and weekends. But we do have coverage on Saturday and Sunday in case it happens to be in the integrated system or SIS, something like that. And the shared agents help us with overflow or special events. Back to school is a good example. We train agents specifically on how to get connected to Cavalier. And so they were prepared for that.
So there's dedicated agents even on the weekend that goes out?
Yeah. Didn't used to be that way. We just added 3 agents, and so we're able to do that now. And it's a huge business. So UVA, when I talk to the help desk, it's clear that UVA is very difficult to support. Go figure. I know you all know that. It's just the number of things we do. It's the way we've done it. It's all, and the help desk, because they have such a large scope, what they support, and you as well, it's difficult. And so it takes us a long time to train an agent to get them up to speed to call them a UVA agent. There are other schools who don't have dedicated agents because they just don't require it, or maybe they just have night and weekend coverage. Or they do something, the scope of their work is smaller. All right, Mythbuster time. The help desk has been outsourced to an offshore company. Anyone?
At what level?
Yeah, describe offshore.
Offshore means outside of the United States.
Tycoon bought the mother company of Persephone. He got a yogurt company business.
This is a good point. Maybe someday, but they're an independent company. They're based in Cleveland, Ohio. They actually have a couple of headquarters in Cleveland. They have an office in Greenville, South Carolina, and they have an office in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you ever have a chance to go to Greenville, you should go because it's amazing. It's really clean. Don't know how they do it. Okay, so here are the agents. So it's a virtual help desk, as you know. Everybody's in the U.S. We have Linda and Michael. They're in Vancouver, Washington, not to be confused with Vancouver, British Columbia. Jeremy is in the Phoenix office. Sam, if you've done anything with SIS, you've talked to Sam. Sam's in Denver. And don't check my geography, I think that's pretty close. Actually, I looked at this at first and I said, is this Colorado? Or is this Colorado? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's right. I had to Google it. We have James, Steve, and Gary in the Cleveland office. Steve is our supervisor. He's the help desk supervisor. He's very good. And we have our 3 new agents in Greenville. And what we're doing is we hire new agents for the help desk. We're putting them in Greenville. So we'll have a group of people there so that they have, they have these tools and they're chatting and they're doing that, this and that. But if you've ever worked on a help desk, you're all sitting in the same spot. It makes things a little bit easier to communicate. So we have Francisco, Rashad, and David, and they're all new. And we're going to send 8 new folks through training in the spring.
And these are all UVA ones?
These are our dedicated UVA agents. So if you call in the middle of the night, you might get Curtis, or you might get somebody else. But if you call during the day, you're likely to speak to one of these folks. Or chat, or however you prefer. So we'll bring in 8 more. Not everybody makes the cut, unfortunately, for UVA. But that's okay, because they can use them for other accounts. It's just UVA is really difficult. And we put up, they train them with 40 hours. They do a week, and then they follow them, and so they've got a really nice training setup, but it does cost them some money. All right, service level agreements. And this will help you, I think, because it'll yeah, Joe, question.
I'm just curious to know if you have the ability to listen in on any of the agent calls, given that we have dedicated agents.
I don't have the ability to listen in at that moment. What I do is I QA calls that are recorded. I QA those every other week. and they're just pulled randomly. So I get to listen to them.